Welcome, everyone, to our 15th episode of our Genuine Men's weekly Zoom Live. I am super excited by our guest speaker today because he's just phenomenal. Before I get into who the guest speaker is and what the topic is, let me tell you a little bit more about Genuine Men and what we're doing, just in case if you haven't been tuning in. So Genuine Men is a movement consistent of a show, a podcast, a workshop, and now weekly Zoom Lives that express the often unheard, honest views of men from various backgrounds, cultures, religions, and life experiences. It's also a rare opportunity for men to have a platform where they can share their views, their thoughts, their perspectives, and obstacles in life with other men on topics that impact them, their families, their communities, and society as a whole. It's an unfiltered and unadulterated look at what life is like from a man's perspective. Hi, I'm Reham. I'm your host and a Genuine Men's Chat coach. Today's amazing topic, I must say, for all you footballers out there, is how football saved my life. And I want to take a minute to just reaffirm the goal of these Zoom Lives. The goal here is to create a safe and interactive and even an engaging space for men to learn how to redefine their purpose, redesign the way that fulfills their purpose in their relationships, in their careers, and in their lives. So with that said, I'd like to welcome our esteemed guest, Paul McNeill. Welcome, Paul.
How are you doing? Are you well?
Yeah, lovely to have you here today.
Yeah, thank you. A pleasure. A total pleasure. Thank you.
It's all mine, I have to say. So let me properly introduce you now, if I will. So Paul is the head of community development for the Scottish Football Association. He discovered he was dyslexic in 1987, struggled at school, returned to full-time education at the age of 24, obtained degrees from Abertay and Glasgow University. Currently in his role within the Scottish Football Association, he manages all the grassroots projects that are delivered via the regions which increase participation levels, develop club and uses football to promote social change. Paul also champions the positive aspects of dyslexia and delivers talks about this throughout Scotland. He also creates school workshop projects called Mission Superhero. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you. It makes me sound, I didn't even know I did all that.
And I look forward to learning more about it and sharing it with our viewers today. Absolutely.
Brilliant. I, if you're okay, would just like to share this journey, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Hold on, I'll just put this up.
I have to say, you're our first PowerPointer as our guest. So we're super excited. For anybody that's on our podcast, it's going to be on our YouTube channel, so you can see the entire PowerPoint presentation there. Take it away, Paul.
No, fantastic. Well, I'll go through this, and if there's any questions that you want me to reaffirm as we go, I will go doing this. The title is always The Power of Football, and hopefully over the next 15-20 minutes I'll explain what that kind of means, or the terminology, or why I use that. But I think it's always really important that you kind of introduce and you tell about your background and you say who you are, because people will go, well, who are you to say these things, or who are you, and what is it? So I'm 45 years young, because I don't like the terminology old.
Absolutely.
I know. I think when you start to use the terminology old, you have to pay your own mortgage and cook your own meals and a lot of things like that. So I think you kind of have to use terminology that's much more positive. I think, as you alluded to, I'm the head of community development, Scottish FA, which I'm very proud and privileged to be. I think it's a great role, and I love that job. I'm married to my beautiful wife Julie, that you can just see in the picture there. And I think the bottom bullet point actually probably reaffirms the second bullet point. I'm dyslexic. That's why I always forget there's no comma actually between, because my kids are Shay and Isabella, not Shay Isabella. So I think you kind of just go. So I do have a learning disability that I've had, and I'll kind of mention a little bit about that as you go. But I think it's really important that you're as open and you're as honest, because sometimes these struggling things in life, people forget to say, and then somebody says, well, and if somebody can be more positive about speaking about whether or not it's a disability or it's a challenge or it's anything in your life that you find difficult, then it's important that you say that out loud, because once you start to say it, then another person who maybe not be as confident will say, well, I'm the same, so maybe it's not as tricky. I always put this up here because it's a bit of a mantra. The world can be a complex and crazy place, and we wake up some mornings and think, oh my goodness, why has this happened? Why is that going on? But I think you have to not worry and be happy about a number of things that you do in life and in society, because sometimes putting that smile on your face is the one thing you can take a positive step forward. So for me, I've kind of tried to live with this for the best part of the last maybe 10, 15 years, because that positive mindset helps you, even though when you don't really want to have anybody helping you, which can be quite a number of times. So a tiny little bit of journey, because I grew up in a different world to a lot of people. Now, I was born in 1974. The black and white picture there is probably my house when I was growing up. You know what I mean? Everything was black and white in the 70s. There was no colour. That was including your telly. You had one telly in your house. I think I say down there was only 3 channels in it. So even my kids think that's a bit nuts. They say, where was Netflix? And you thought, no, that was no
What
thing.
was Netflix exactly?
I mean, you pressed a button to turn your channels, which is bizarre.
And we had snow too, don't forget.
Yes, we had a lot of things. So I've got a sister, Audrey, and my mum and dad were Anne and Hugh McNeill. And I say, I grew up with no mobile phones. You put 10 pence in a thing and fold it outside. I mean, it blows kids' minds if you think about the change of the world that we live in. There was no internet. It didn't exist. You couldn't Google stuff. You went to libraries. You had to find stuff. You had to chat people's doors. So it was a different way of life. It was a different way of life that I grew up in. And that had its challenges, that had its positives. And there's a little bit where you have to kind of look at that and reflect on that and say, well, why were they challenges? Why was it a different world? But it was a completely different world. It's like the bottom picture in there is my local PC. I mean, you couldn't put that in your pocket and walk away. The phone was tied to the wall, remember? It didn't come with you. You didn't, as soon as you left the house, you were uncontactable. So a completely different world. So, but the bit that I think is really important is to set kind of bits of scenery. How do you set scenery in terms of what people think? So what were my early challenges in life? Well, I alluded to that I'm dyslexic. That was a big challenge. I think a big challenge for any young person is when you start school. That's when the challenges become quite there, because you become slightly independent. You're left from your parents and you go somewhere, and that's where you evolve and develop and find who you are. But they can be quite challenging. For me, these were the big ones. So my writing and spelling was horrendous in school, really, really bad. I mean, really, really bad. And I found that reading out loud quite difficult. Now, you've got to think, this is primary school. There was nobody saying that I was dyslexic. I was basically just cast aside as a problem child. That was the label that was given to me. You're a problem child. You won't amount to much. You shouldn't have any ambition. You do that because it's the 80s here. Well, it's the late 70s, early 80s, and it was really just quite a hard, tough environment to grow up in. School was completely different. I mean, there was actual violence used towards kids because teachers would hit children. It was still the kind of belt and the kind of hitting the child had only kind of just been outlawed. And if you think about that to the modern era, it's quite bizarre that was allowed to happen. So it kind of mentality-wise, it kind of impacted on you, because you thought, an adult is allowed to use physical aggression against me. That must be correct. That must be the way that I then should go forward in my life. And if there's a problem, I'll use physical aggression rather than anything else. So I think the other two kind of points that are just on that slide there was, I found myself really lost in this kind of classroom environment. There was people who were quick able to go and do things, and I was still finding the process really difficult. Always kind of say the one about the teacher was saying, if you got giving things out, and I was saying, I've got it, I know the answer. It's an A. She says, Paul, we're on W. Where have you been? and it was just the process, and so I found that quite complicated. I think it's quite a negative impact on my education. My mum would always say, and fight my corner, to say, he's quite a bright kid. Why? And they say, oh no, he's not. He's not. He's just a troublemaker, and he's just this. But it was because I couldn't process the information I had onto the traditional way that we would learn. So I was a failure, and that was how I got lost and confused. So it was quite difficult. It was quite an emotional period of time. This picture up here is one that I throw in a lot of times because it's kind of that alluding to when I found football, or I found the bit about it. So I fell in love with football for a variety of different ways, and it was probably a bit of a white line of safety I talk about it. So what happened? Well, as you grow older, the school janitor, who was affectionately known as Huey Bell, so he was a school janitor there, he picked the football team. So by the time he got moved up the age groups, I was really, really struggling. I had no kind of concept of school and then education. I didn't know why I was there. I'd cry a lot. I would throw out a lot. And there was two things that happened simultaneously. One being the school janitor said, we're going to pick the football team. So when you got to a certain age in the school, it was primary 6 in my school, the school football team, it was a big deal. It was like the biggest deal in the world, the school football team getting picked, and would you get in it, and so on and so forth. And I always remember the janitor sitting all the boys down. It was the boys, you got to remember, but it was only boys that played football, and girls were sent to play netball. There was a very definitive divide in the school. So thank goodness it's changing, but it was a very definitive divide. So we all sat down, and there was a bit of a kind of hierarchy. So all the kids who knew what they were doing, they all got the kind of glamour position. So they kind of went on that. So Michael, I always remember that Michael Allison said, I'll go in goals, and Chris Dillon said, I'll go and play right back, and all the glamour, Robert McBrien and Smudger all went up front. So they all got the glamour positions. And then there was kind of just everything that was left. And the janitor said, who wants to play left back? But I didn't know what a left back was. I had no idea. And my best mate at the time, Smudger, now everybody has a best friend in their life who is Smudger, who is the best looking guy at school. He's the most cleverest guy at school. He's the guy that's got the 3-stripe Adidas when you've got the 4-stripe Adidas. And your mum's going, you're really lucky to have that extra stripe. Not realising you're getting bullied at school because you have the stuff that's no really official, and it kind of embarrasses, and you get bullied because of that. So Smudger, I always remember him, it was a really kind moment. He leaned over at me, like, you play left back and don't worry about a thing. All you ever need to do is win the ball, and I'll be very near to you, and I'll take it, and you'll be fine. And I thought, that's really good, brilliant. And that went on for a number of years. He just looked after me. So anytime I get near him, he would appear, and he was the best player, one of the best players in the team. So all I needed to do was stop somebody and give him the ball. But for me, I found a sense of purpose. I found a football field. I found something that made me feel good about myself. And all the bit there, when they white lines of safety, as I crossed them, all the school stuff could stay away for a period of time. Nobody could get at me. It was a kind of like a wall. I could go, this is really good. I feel better about myself now because I'm here. And that doesn't happen just now. And when I went back across it, I would have to deal with all that again. But it gave me a purpose in my life. So it was really, really good. The second thing that happened simultaneously was my you probably if nobody knows who St Mirren are, they're a very provincial club in Scotland. They're a very small club. So actually, probably in modern eras, what my dad did to me would be actually probably classed as kind of child abuse, to be brutally honest. He made me a St Mirren fan because it's a generation that comes down, isn't it? Your dad makes your dad is one, and it comes down, and you just pass it on. It doesn't matter. You don't have a choice of what team you support. That's what you do.
Yeah,
so yeah. He always, yeah. So it doesn't matter. That's your bat, and that's your badge. You have to wear that. I don't really care. So, as a normal ritual, or a male ritual, predominantly probably in Scotland, you go to your first game. And this is the stadium, that's the picture that you see, the old stadium. We now have moved as a club. But it was an old rickety stadium, and I always remember going to the very first ever game, going along. I'd started kind of light football when it was there, but you'd never been in a game, and you went along, and it was a ritual where you walked along the streets. Your dad went into the local pub for a couple of pints. You all sat outside freezing and eating bags of crisps because that was just the way of the world. But that was a tradition, and that was okay. Went along, and I always remember walking up this hill. There's a hill that's just on this stadium, and you walked up, and as you reared round, that was the very first thing you see in the stadium. I remember seeing this big green thing and lights on it, and I'm like, what's that? And I was going, it's the football stadium. What are you talking about? Why are you so excited? So another thing, I kind of went on and I played and I enjoyed football. I was rubbish at it, but people bailed me out and helped me, and I kind of felt good about myself. And there was a number of good things happened in that kind of era. What's the most important thing about supporting someone? The one thing was I got to about, it was 1987. I was probably about 12, 13 years of age. And we went along to a Scottish Cup game, Scottish Cup third round, never forget it. Went along, cold January afternoon, sorry. And then we went, and St Mirren played this game. And I always remember coming out of the stadium. If people know, Rangers Football Club at the time had real big superstars in their team. And that Saturday afternoon, the Rangers getting knocked out of the Scottish Cup, and St Mirren had won. We were going through, so we were going through the next round. But remember, there's no mobile phones, there's no Twitter, there's nothing, that doesn't exist. You have to listen to the tannoid that's getting shouted the results as you walk out the stadium. So we found out this result had went on and Rangers are getting knocked out. I'm a young little dreamer, a boy. I remember pulling my dad's jacket and he went down and said, what is it, son? And I says, do you think we can win the cup this year? And my dad's always remember put his hand and saying, you know something, you just have to believe. And as we walked out, that was in my head, but he's giggling to his other friends because he knows we're a wee provincial club. We have no chance of winning the Scottish Cup. We've tried for many a year, and I think it's been 1959 since the last time we'd won it. So here we went on, and the weeks and the months passed, and we went through another round of the Scottish Cup, and we went through another round of the Scottish Cup. The next time we're in the semi-final. We've made it to the semi-final of the Scottish Cup. We're going to Hampden Park. We're going. So we go, and we play Heart and Midlothian, and we put them out. We're in the final of the Scottish Cup. It's just like this incredible moment as a young boy who dreamed of this thing, and all of a sudden something happened. And I'm playing football as well, so you can think about the two things here. I've got this dream of making it as a football player that's better than my life at school because that's horrendous, and your club's made it, and you can just kind of go, wow, I'm going to go. We went to play, and people might or might not know that year in '87 we played Dundee United. Dundee United were in the UEFA Cup final. They beat Barcelona home and away, and I was going, how can we beat them? So we go along the game, and it's a different era. Remember, it's a different era when you're going along this game. It wasn't like there was no tickets. You had to just turn up. There was people were drinking and smoking as they were going into the game. There was no seats. It was all terracing. It's a different world. I always remember walking up to the stadium that day, and my dad and a few of his friends, and we got there. There was horses, and it was a bit of a different world. I mean, and it was a very male-dominated. Very few females would have went to the games. So we got in, and you had to queue up to the turnstile because you paid with cash. And I always remember we get close, and your dad's kind of going, stay close in case you get lost. And we got real near the front, and I always remember just before we went in the stadium, he just put his hand on my shoulder and he said, I need you to do one thing today. I need you to believe. That's it. Just believe, okay? Went through the terraces, no problem. Worst game of football ever. I think we were all kind of going, oh my God, can this finish? But we go to extra time, and then in the 110th minute, Ian Ferguson knocks the ball down, runs through and goal, slams it in the back of the net, and we win. We win the Scottish Cup, and I always remember it. Just as the ball hit the net, my dad grabbed me and he put me above his head and he started shaking. He goes, we did it. And it was an emotional moment. It was this kind of fantastic moment in your life that something unbelievable would happen. And it was fantastic because for me, it was just this combination of life was rubbish. Education was rubbish. I was getting bullied and tortured for not being able to spell or doing all that. Teachers were really battering me down. But for that one moment in the sun, the dream came alive, and it just stimulated to keep going. So it's a fantastic moment in your life. But what happened next was, of course, I motored on, and of course didn't do very well at school. Pretty rubbish, if I'm being brutally honest. School system wasn't for me. I found it really difficult. People would laugh at me. Can you spell cat, wee man? It starts with a D. All these type of things. Teachers would write me off at school reports. He's not going to go anywhere. I wouldn't really be advancing him in anything, shape or form. So they were all quite difficult periods in my life. And then I left school potentially when I was 15, just coming up for the end of fourth year with very limited qualifications, going in to become an electrician. They dreams had all So the 5-year-old dreams that we all probably have, and we all probably wrote them down when we were at primary school, didn't we? Probably wrote down, what do you want to do when you grow up when you're 5? And mine was, I wanted to be the first person to land on Mars, because we'd landed on the moon, so Mars didn't seem that far away. And then to get back for the weekend to captain Scotland to the World Cup final. Because when you're 5, you can do whatever you want, but they'd been crushed, they'd been kind of thrown out. And here I was as a mid-teenager leaving. But one magical moment happened again, and it's through football, that everything that was negative, there was always these people could wrap around me and help me, and football was that kind of anchor that just kept me in the straight and narrow, because I could have probably went left, but I'm right, and my life could have spiraled out of control. So what happens next? Well, what happens next is I play for this particular football club here, and it's just a normal grassroots football team. And we have a fantastic season. The season I've left school, we have a fantastic, absolutely incredible season. We win the league, and on a Wednesday night, summer's Wednesday night, we play in the League Cup final, so we can have a chance to win the league and the cup. Unbelievable, brilliant. So he turns up, and it's one of those overcast Scottish nights, a wee bit cold, meant to be the summer, but the sun's decided it's snow coming out to play. So it's an overcast night, and we go and we play in this game. And the team we're playing against are overrunning us. So we're 1-0 down. I think we were potentially 2-0 down, leading up to half time, and we claw a goal back. We've been absolutely dreadful. And our manager team goes, look, guys, this is the last game you will play this season. Just don't let it go out like this. Be positive. Go back out there. Didn't shout at us, didn't abuse us, didn't do anything. Just look, remember what you have done for the last number of months. Go out there and just leave it out there. Try your best. That's all I'm asking. So we all went back out. We got it back to 2 each. Now, remember what I said a few minutes ago? I was rubbish at football. I'm still told I play in defence. This has nothing to do with it. I just wasn't very good. So I'd always been told a few very vital rules as I was growing up. One, you get the ball and you give it to somebody who's better. That seemed to be okay. I could kind of understand that. And never, ever cross the halfway line, okay? Your job is to defend. That's it. Give it to the better players. And don't do anything really too technical at the other end of the park. And it worked for a number of years. It was all right. Smudger, that had told me all that. So that was fine. No problem. The 85th minute in the game, Big Dougie Gordon wins a header in our area and the ball bounces to me. So I do what I'm programmed to do. I look up, I take a touch, and I try and find the best player in your team. So I take 2 touches and I see Craigie Lane, and I know Craigie out in the wing is our best player, and I hit the ball as hard as I can to Craigie. I think my job's done. The only problem is, 2 things happened. One being, the whole rest of their team had realised that Craigie was so good they all ran to try and make sure they could get the ball off him. But for some bizarre reason, my brain that night decided I would become Forrest Gump, and I just started running in a straight line. No idea why. Couldn't tell you why. Craigie gets swamped with all their players, and he decided to do the most stupidest thing in the world. He played the ball back in front, which was my run. Now, I was running up the halfway line. I went, I wonder what happens if you go across the halfway line. So that night, I decided to go across, and I didn't blow up, which was quite useful. But I took a touch on the ball. Simultaneous to that, my manager shouted, pass the ball to Benji, which I couldn't really hear. So I turned around to say, what did you say? Just then I took this horrendous big touch on the ball, which was quite lucky because their big centre-back player came sliding in, missed me because I've took this horrendous touch, and I jumped over him. And I went, by this time, I looked up, and here was somebody in yellow looking very angry running towards me. And then I realised I didn't know up until that point there was 2 goalkeepers, because I'd always been in the other goal. So I went, he's looking very angry. And I did what the most technical thing in football is to this day. I closed my eyes, I swung my leg back, and I hoped. And when I opened my eyes up, the ball was soaring up and over the goalkeeper, and it bounced in the line and bounced in. 3-2 to us. I spiralled round, and like the chariots of fire, I ran up, because I had no idea, I'd never scored a goal in my life. I ran up the thing, could see my dad right in front of me. And I was running towards him to give him a big hug, and just then Big Dougie Gordon whacked me at the side, and I crumbled on the ground, and all the players bailed on top of me, and they were all going, yes, we've done it, we've won. There's no way we're going to lose now, there's a couple of minutes to go. And I was pulling myself up, a hand came down and it pulled me up, and I looked up, and who was it? It was my best mate from school, Derek Smudger Smith. He was the sub that day, and he went, wee man, you're a total legend. Where did you learn to do that? And I went, I don't know, I closed my eyes. He just laughed, you're kidding.
Technical skills, exactly.
Aye, you always go with luck. Luck's better than anything else in the world. So he was this defining moment that I felt really good. I became player of the year that season, didn't deserve it, but I think just based on one moment. But the beauty of our sport and of everything else, it made me feel good, and I felt good about who I was.
How did that ripple into other parts of your life at that moment?
Well, here's where the probably the bit it never actually happened. So what actually happened at that probably point in time was that I didn't really. It was a moment. I just felt good. At least I had football. Everything else was rubbish. I was now in a shipyard. I was now freezing cold. I was 16, 17, 18 years of age. I was freezing cold. I still had football to keep me in the straight and narrow. So at least I didn't go down another route of maybe doing something that I shouldn't have done. But these positive influences on my life kept me in the straight and narrow. So I trained twice a week. I played on a Saturday. I met lots of friends, so on and so forth. However, on the other complete side of my life, I'm in the shipyard. I'm freezing cold, and I'm not even 20 yet, and I'm thinking, where do you go? And I'm just looking around about shipyards. I'm looking at my dad. They're all heavy drinkers. It's just, you kind of just think, is that your life? And you kind of creep your way into that. You kind of start to think, something, maybe this is how you live your life. You just, at the weekend you go out, so by the time you get 19, 20, you think, that's it. That's what you do. That's what you are. You are just a shipyard worker. Don't get ambition. The teachers were right. So let's just go. So you live your life like that. You don't live your life with ambition or thinking you can go and do anything else, because society has driven you down into thinking that what you are is a nobody.
So it's self-fulfilling prophecies almost. If we as humans believe the negative messages that we're given, and then we don't combat them within ourselves, within our minds, or within our hearts, then we kind of live that out, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So then the other big defining moment was, unfortunately, I was 21, 22 years of age. My father takes his own life. So it's quite a tragedy moment. The one bit about that was my dad takes his own life, but he wakes up. It's at Christmas, so it's the first week in December. But he takes an overdose. He wakes back up, so he's really struggling to go and do things in life, and so on and so forth. And it takes a period of time when he fell into a coma and so on and so forth before he passed away. And there was one moment when I got to speak to him about the last kind of moments, and he just always said a few words which I thought were there. He said, "I love you, I'm very proud of you, and I'm sorry I let you down." And they kind of struck me quite hard, but it was kind of at that moment where a lot of things kind of washed over me. And you're right about that self-fulfilling prophecy. I felt really rubbish about myself and so on and so forth. So as an early 20-year-old, I'm still a wee daft kid. I'm not grown up. 20-year-old, 21-year-old, no, I'm not grown up. I don't have enough in me to understand how to go on. So I kind of just drifted through life at that point in time. And it was really challenging. I'm lucky in two things. I'm lucky in a few things. One, I'm lucky I've got the best mum in the world. I've got the greatest mum that has ever lived, and she's just a complete and utter guardian angel, and she looks after me, she makes sure. And the reason that's up there is aim high sunshine, is my mum still calls me a little ray of sunshine. My wife laughs when we go to Morrison's and they'll come out the cafe and she'll say, "See you later, my little ray of sunshine." And my wife will go, "Do you ever get embarrassed?" I'm embarrassed? You having a laugh? Who wouldn't want to be called a ray of sunshine? So that had always stayed with me. A few other things that are on here is my dad and my mum, although I was struggling with education, taught me a lot of stuff about society. So they taught me about the Berlin Wall coming down, about the Nazi occupation, about things like that as a child, really probably my dad shouldn't have been talking to me about, but he felt that it was his duty to explain society to me. When Nelson Mandela walked free, I'll tell you, there was a slight racial issues within Scottish football back in the early 80s, and a black player called Mark Walter signed for Glasgow Rangers and played a few games with People Threw Bananas at him, quite a well-known story. And at that moment in time, my dad sat me down and didn't probably do the archetypical, which was shout me and say, "That's wrong." he sat down and he spoke to me and explained apartheid in South Africa. He spoke to me about Martin Luther King. He made me understand the subject matter, not just simply saying that that's wrong. So yes, he was saying it was wrong, but he explained to me what the parts of that were wrong. He explained to me that in society, that people, so he was a big socialist. He didn't, his mantra was always he get beat by the system, because he couldn't get out of where he was coming from, because you're not meant to escape. You're not allowed to escape. So he always said that, and he spoke to me about politics and about how things are. The one other thing down there is one of my mum's kind of things. She says sometimes it's the smallest decisions that can change your life forever. So there was one moment in my life that happened. I worked in a shipyard, and one of my last jobs, well, it was my last job before I left, and we worked for Esso. And don't worry, I wasn't really that important. I was in charge of the keys, just in case you thought I was really up. No, I wasn't. So what happened was, I was working, I was still an electrician. My life was really going nowhere. I had ambition to do stuff. I kept saying it, and people kept saying, "You'll never get out of here. You know where your life's going, that's it. You won't get out." And they used to say, like, "You have to leave." And I would go, and they say, "Paul, every day has an ambition to kind of leave, but you don't get to do it." And I was like, so I just kind of accepted it. I was probably about 24, 25. And this American came over. He was the chief exec of Esso, probably managing director, something like that anyway. He came over to Scotland because the ship we were working on had a lot of problems, and he was to sign the big check off to say, right, can it go for this £300 million investment into it or not? And he came over, and I was to show him round. That was the only reason I had the keys. I was in charge of the keys and the things. So everybody was used to go round about with them, and I would go and show them round about where we were going. And it probably was there for 3 or 4 days, and we kind of, after a couple of days, we got to know each other. He was a big sports fan, I was a big sports fan, so on and so forth, and we chatted and so on and so forth. And I always remember at one particular day that it was just me and him. There was been a big mistake, people had went off, and we just we were having a bit of a chat. And he was telling me about his life. He was saying that he didn't want to be in the industry he was in. And I thought it was bizarre, because he was very well to do and made a lot of money. He says, "No, Paul," he said, "my ambition was to be a quarterback for an American football team." And he said, "I had a scholarship and I went to America. I was one of the best quarterbacks. I was going to really make it. I was there. My scholarship was engineering, but I was making it. I would have made it." And I was like, "Oh, what happened?" He said, "One of my sophomore years, I take a really bad shoulder injury. Threw the ball, bad shoulder. Career's over." And I just motored on and became, worked in this industry, because that's what I was going to do. And he says, "But that's just the way of the world." And I always remember he leaned over to me and said, "But don't worry about it." He says, "I've got a dream. Me and my mate are going to buy an American football team, and we're going to run it ourselves. And I might never get my dream, but I might get the Super Bowl. I might buy it." And I remember busting out laughing and saying, "But that costs millions of pounds to buy an American football team." He said, "But you've got to have a dream." And I remember him pointing right at me and saying, "What's your dream?" And now this one moment, a bit of a tsunami went over, and I don't know why I blurted it out again. "I wanted to land on Mars." And I just went, boom, I became 5. And he went, "What?" I said, "I have no idea what I'm doing here." Fast forward about a few months and weeks, I decided that day I would just chuck it. I just threw the towel, and I thought, "Do you know something? That's it, I'm leaving." And I remember people going, "You'll never leave." And I left. I left the shipyards eventually, walked out, decided that was it, and went back into full-time education. I realised that not having any qualifications was a wee bit of a challenge to get to uni. So I had to go back to college, I had to relearn, I had to do all that. And so I decided at that one moment I was going to change my life. And that's what I do. And dreams.
What a pivotal moment in your life, I have to say. I mean, not many men have the courage to actually change their world with such a big decision. You're altering the direction, of your entire future. How did you find the courage to do so?
I think it was more. I remember going home and saying to my mum, I want to leave. And she went, "Well, I said to you, if you ever wanted to follow your dreams, just go for it." And she just let me go. And I just decided, you know something, I'm going for it. I would like to have worked in sport. I'll give it a try. And if I roll a 666 and I don't get there, at least I've gave it a try. And I went, and it was really hard. But everybody I'd met throughout my life in this football fraternity just pat me in the back going, "You'll do all right, that's brave of you, well done, good on you, good on you." And it was just these wee moments, and you kind of thought, well, if they believe in me, I can do it. And the people I met through lecturers and everything, just every wee step became a little bit easier, a little bit easier. And then I eventually completed my HND, my degree, and the next thing I knew, I was in a different industry, and I was enjoying it, and I was working with people. I was a youth worker. I could have an impact on some young people's lives. I was quite good at it because I was reasonably understanding of where they had came from and how the challenges they had. So this guy, they would say, "Ah, but you don't understand. Oh, no, I'm dyslexic. Oh, no, my dad committed suicide. Oh, all right, wait a minute. Yeah, we can't beat you. You've got more stuff than us." So they understood, and I understood them, and I could understand that the world that they were growing up in terms of violence and battering against, you had to speak. And when you kind of opened up and you engaged, some teenage boys went, "God, aye, all right, I'll speak to you, and I'm still not going to be up." So I went on. This is one of the defining moments in my life. I went for I'd always wanted to work in football, and I decided I'd seen a job for the Scottish FA down about coaching. I'd been involved in football, so on, but this was the ultimate. I could get back. And I went for the interview, and of course, this is where someone won the cup in '87. So 2006, I get a job interview, and I go along, and it's one of those moments where you think, I wonder if I can get my Everest moment. And I parked in the car park, and it was a wee bit early, and I decided, no, I'm going to go, and I'm going to make the walk that I made in '87 back. So I walked round the train station, and just walked back the same way that I'd walked in '87 with my dad and his friends round to the game. And at that one moment, everybody always says, "Did it really happen?" I say, "But aye, my dad walked with me." And I felt his presence at that one moment in my life. I felt him coming over. I felt his hand on my shoulder, and I held him as I walked back up these stairs. I'm saying, "You just have to believe."
What a beautiful gift. Yeah.
It is, and it's just that one moment. I got the job, and something that's 50 and odd years ago, but I'm privileged. I feel I'm a custodian of the job because I get to do things, and I get to help an environment where I've never been before. And I want to finally just share this one last story, because I think when I've worked in an industry, I've got to change, I've got to help, I've got to speak out about things, because I've got a platform to do that, and I'm very privileged of doing that, because I think my life is the same as a lot of people's lives. You just sometimes need a wee pull up, or you need somebody to pat you in the back, or you need somebody around about you to say, right, that's okay. So to give you this bit, which is quite a funny, emotional story that I share with a lot of people, because I think it ties the whole thing together. A lot of people maybe know, maybe not, or know Roy of the Rovers. Roy of the Rovers, when I was growing up in the 78, was a huge comic. It's a massive comic book, and my dad would buy it every week for me. And I think it maybe accepted that he could go for a couple of cans of beer if he bought me this book. So he'd be coming out. But I really liked Roy of the Rovers, because although I struggle to read, that this was a comic book that enticed me, because it was football, and I would sit down and I would actually do it. So it actually helped me. I really appreciate my dad bought it. It bonded us. It got us through some difficult periods in our lives, and I just absolutely love it. It's been rebooted, so now my son reads it, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to tell you this little quick story, because I think it kind of it ties a lot of the things up that are quite appreciate me. I helped take my son's football team now, and I'm really honoured about that. And I kind of always remember saying to him, "Do you want me to take your football team?" "Yes." And I said to him, "The one moment you don't want me to, you tell me." He said, "No, I love you team." So we've done it for a number of years. Me and him are both St fans. I think if my dad did it to me, you have to do it to him, because it's just the way that you have to do stuff, and he has to carry that cross now as well. So we went through a lot of tribulations, can I just say, we were watching St It's been quite a tough life, as we get beat more often than we win. However, we play a game on a Friday night. We're playing Celtic. Celtic are undefeated. They have not lost a game under Brendan Rodgers for a number of months, and we're playing. We are bottom of the league. We have no way of getting out, so we've been released. But it's a Friday night, and we train with his local team on a Friday night. So I say to him, I say, "Wee man, you've got to pick. You either can go to the St Mirren game, or you can go to your training." And he went, "I want to do both." And I went, "Well, you can't do both because it's impossible." And he went, "Well, you'll need to work that out." And I went, "What?" He says, "I want to do both, so you'll need to work it out." And I thought, "Aye, all right, I either need to get the DeLorean, or I'll need to try and just..." So we went to training at the start of training. done a little bit, jumped in the car, broke every land speed record we could, through every red traffic light we could, and just got to the game. Because that's what he'd said. And I thought, well, it's important. So we went in the game. It's an evening, it's a Friday evening, I think it was like a November or something. It was really dark and cold. And we're there, and it's a big crowd, and Celtic haven't been beaten there. And Celtic a man sent off in the first 10 minutes, down to 10 men. We hold on for dear life. We kick balls off our lines. I think at some point fans stole the footballs just to make sure, and we get a nothing each draw. Now, it doesn't seem like very much, but it was our moment. It was just a defining moment. My son went mental. He's shouting at the ball, and he's, yes, I cannot believe we've drawn with Celtic. I'm thinking, it's not a big a deal, man. We're still battling the league and we might get relegated, but sometimes means a lot to. So we get back in the car, he's hyper, he's like, and I'm thinking, well, this is what it means. It's a bond, it's a moment, it's just lovely. We get in the car, he's hyper, he's banging the roof, we're just singing on the way up the road, and I'm going, calm down, we've got to get in the house, and your sister will wait, calm down, you'll wait your sister up, calm. Can I get up, drink of milk? I need boy, you can get milk and toast when you get in, don't worry. Get in the driveway, out the car, there's your milk and toast. Will you read me a chapter book? Will you read me calm down, you're going to get me into serious bother here with your mum and your sister. Up we go, neighbour. We lie in his bed, put the light on, glass of milk, drink of toast, no hassles, and we're reading Roy the Rovers. So I get the book out. He's settled down now, and I'm reading through the book now. People might or might not know the next bit, but if you know the iconic Roy the Rovers, there was some very iconic characters, and they were big people, and they played a lot of my part of my life because it made you dream, and you could kind of think you want to be. And one of them was Hamish. Was Mighty Mouse. Sorry, and Mighty Mouse was a character that was really good at dribbling, a bit overweight, just didn't look like your archetypical football player, very clever. I was a doctor but played part-time football, just what you can write in a comic book, of course, because you can do whatever you want. And I turned the page, and the new manager of Manchester Rovers was Mighty Mouse. And this just hit me like a tsunami. And just at that one moment, the whole world stopped. And just all these positive moments came flooding back about my dad buying it, about the 87 Cup final, about all these good things. And I'm sitting there with my son, and I'm thinking, oh my God, the world is a strange place, and thinking about the negative things and where you came from and all of that, and just this positive moment that had happened. And I just couldn't read. I just started to stutter and well up, and I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to get through the next couple of lines. And I really, really struggled. And then, bizarrely, a voice just appeared and started to read. And it was my son. He realised at that one moment in my life that I couldn't read on. He read to the end of the chapter. He closed the book. He kissed me in the top of the head and went, isn't football great? And I went, what is that, wee man? It's absolutely...
Like father, like son, yeah.
Like society, like moments you need to be together, to show love, to show respect, to show kindness, and you have it through something that might be completely different. I went back through it in my room and I thought, oh my God, there is just an opportunity to do things in life if you believe, and if you work together, and if you show respect and you show kindness. So these are some of the things that that I have over the years learned, and I think they're just some of the bullet points that I live my life by, but which is you always have to ask for help. It's a really embarrassing thing to do sometimes, and sometimes you don't want to. Mail one, you'll drive about for hours rather than rolling down the window and going, do you know where that place is? But you should always ask for help. You should always put your hand up and say, can you help me out? Because sometimes, more often than not, somebody will have an answer for you, or they'll help you, or they'll support you, or they'll do something. You're never alone in life, ever. There's every day, there's me, you, there's a whole host of people out there, and as soon as you say to somebody, can you give me a wee help? They'll 9 times out of 10 say, aye, no hassle, one will do it. I think that those two other ones about that hard work and that aiming high are some things that everybody should live by. You should always aim high. You might aim for the sun and just drop a wee bit, but why not? Why not try and push yourself to there? But it does take dedication, it takes hours, it takes time. And when people say, but I feel, have you actually did as hard or as best as you can? And don't look for somebody else to do it, look for you to do it. And I think that's what I learned. I had to realise that the long, hard hours at uni, everything takes me 2 hours longer than anybody else. But I have to accept that, and I have to work a little bit harder than anybody else to get to even the level playing field, and then I have to work a little bit harder to even get that one more bit of them. I think I've always put in there about never being embarrassed. I'm dyslexic, I struggle with it, I do that. We all have embarrassing things, and sometimes we don't want to speak about them. And the last one I think is really pertinent, which is that more voices can make a difference in society. If we all say one positive thing, or we all help, or we all back that one person up, we make a difference. And if we don't, then it won't do. So a collective unit can make a difference to a lot of us. And
Well, no man's an island. So knowing that we are in it together is really essential, as you're saying.
Absolutely. And this is what I always leave, Emily, when I always speak about these things. I always say that hope is just a ridiculously wonderful, powerful thing. It's a bit like love. If we have more hope in our heart, we have more chance of changing society. But that is about changing it. It is about opening up. It is about being more honest and open. But they're very, very difficult things to do for a lot of people. And that's what I'll leave you with.
Well, thank you, Paul, for sharing that insightful, in-depth take at what brought you on this journey and what led to football saving your life. It's completely pertinent to the topic, to the title, as you put it. You've mentioned that, there are a couple of themes that I know you and I have talked about, and you've just shared with us now about the impact that other people have had on your life. So you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I think when you look at the big impact that a lot of people have. I mean, for me growing up, it was always those particularly male volunteers in the life, the people who would go that extra mile, who would always help you, who would always put an arm around you and have a little bit of a thank you to say. And I think when you look back and you reflect in your life growing up, why did they do that? Well, they did it because they cared. But they gave you that a little bit of hope. They gave you that little bit of strength. They were always there. And sometimes it's the unconscious things, that one moment where they might pat you in the back and say, "You did well today." And that might have been the only time somebody said you did well today, because you would have maybe had that negativity at school and so on and so forth. So for me, that football or the scouts or any of those movements, they were particularly all males, and they were very strong individuals, but they had a lot of kindness. And I think those people impacting on your life make you feel 10 foot tall some days. And sometimes you just have to kind of pause and think, I wonder if I do that to somebody else. I wonder if I take the time to say to somebody, "You're all right," or "You're good," or "Are you okay," or "Can I help you?" And by doing that, you change somebody's life forever.
Absolutely. So what advice do you have for youth that are out there that can't find healthy or effective role models in their lives?
I think they're always there. I think the big thing is as I said a minute or two ago, it's asking for help. It's looking for it. I think a lot of us will follow that kind of crowd and see that. I mean, as I grew up, a lot of my friends dropped out of football. I just kept going and going and going because it was a positive to me. So sometimes in life, you're going to have to make that decision to not follow the crowd and go, "I'm going to go my other way." Why did I leave the shipyard? Because I probably thought if I was sitting here today that I probably would have used alcohol more, or I probably went down a different path. And I thought, you know something, I can change. I can make a positive change to my life if I decide to make that positive change. So I think they're the bits of advice I'd always give. Be yourself, be your individual, aim for your own stars, aim for your own ambition in life, because if you do that, you'll end up to following your dream, not maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 years having the regret that because you thought, "Do you know something, I followed that one person or I followed that one group of people." Sometimes making your own big decisions is really, really tough, but if you do them and you ask for help, the majority of times you'll actually be able to navigate yourself through. In 15, 20 years from time, you look back and think, well, that was the right sliding door that I went through rather than a negative one.
So what would be some advice that you would give our audience members, our viewers who have had a lot of bad experiences, especially many people that have been going through COVID and the difficulty with keeping a job actually during COVID for many people. What advice do you have to give them from the learnings that you've gained, or guidance that you'd like to give them regarding learning from difficulty, in addition to what you've already shared?
Yeah, no. I think COVID and a lot of things have learned that there will always be negative. There will always be negative. There will always be moments in your life where you think that this is rubbish, and people will suffer right now from bits of depression, very much anxiety, worrying about jobs, worrying about anything else. And I think the biggest bit is you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in that hope and belief. And it is really, really difficult. It is really difficult. But if you continually to try and work hard, ask for that bit of help, not be embarrassed to go and ask for help or show support, you will get through it. And I think it's about changing. I speak to a lot of people, and I think maybe the battle we've had with this horrible illness that's been about, and COVID has been impactful on a lot of people, is maybe it's the time that a lot of people will look and say, I have to self-evaluate myself and say, well, am I going in the right direction in my life, or where I would like to be? And can I make the positive changes that will be good for me and my family? And maybe that's the bit that hopefully as we come out the other end, people will say, nah, I don't want to go back into that particular battle that I have with alcohol, or I have with overworking, or with anything else that's there. And they're really, really tough decisions to make in your life, but sometimes making those big fundamental changes, people simply going out for a walk just now, clears your mind, makes you feel good, relaxes you a little bit, and you go, do you know something? The world isn't as bad as I thought. And if you ask for help, it becomes half of that again. And I think they're the big bits about maybe pausing and trying your best to make the decisions that maybe not be that easy right now, maybe not even be that easy for 6 months' time, but maybe in 3 years' time you'll look back and think, I'm glad I did that. And that for me, that's, trust me, there was moments in my student flat when I thought, what the heck have I done? This is mental. Why am I at 4 a.m. here trying to write an essay? I could be working as an electrician and earning money, and here I am eating beans and toast, and I've eaten beans and toast now for the last 7 weeks because I don't have any money. But every time you reevaluated, you went, no, keep pushing forward, and it's hard. I know it's hard, but you've got to believe, and you look for people to help you with that. And I've got a number of people around about me that when I'm really struggling, I'll go and say, going to give me a wee help. And I think that's the most important things that you can ever do in life.
Absolutely. 2 more quick things.
Yes,
What advice do you have for the dads out there, how to connect with their kids if they haven't been able to take advantage of this one-on-one time with the family for whatever reason? What advice do you have for them to find really amazing ways to connect, especially with their sons?
Yeah, I think that bit. I mean, sometimes I'm not the best at it either. I find working just now because I'm working through the whole time, and sometimes I don't. But learning those moments of what they enjoy, don't perceive your stuff onto them. I think that's the thing. I've learned quite considerable over here to step back, and I'm not that great at it, and I'll be brutally honest about that. But I'm learning. I'm learning, and I think that bit about engagement, conversation, not shouting. Sometimes your way is the wrong way, and know that you're the adult. Sometimes your way isn't the right decision, and sometimes you need to listen. And I think I think what one thing I've learned is, and my wife and I have both probably seen that, is they learn differently. Our kids learn different. They engage different. Our daughter learns differently to our son. They like to do things differently. There's been bizarre things when they say, "Can you put the telly on while I'm doing my schoolwork?" And you think, "No, do your schoolwork. Telly's off." Actually, when you put the telly on, they work harder because they like the background noise. They like just to have that wee bit of environment, and they work through it. My son blasts through his work, quite happy, wee bit of telly in the background, but he blitz it, no problem at all, because he's got an end goal. He knows he's got something at the end of that, and he goes, my daughter might work in a completely different way. So it's learning the small things that you might not like. You might not like Fortnite. They like Fortnite.
Yeah, they love Fortnite and Minecraft and everything else under the sun.
But think about some of the things that they're doing. They're communicating with their friends, they're doing things. Everything in moderation is okay.
Absolutely.
Don't think of things as negative. Think of ways in which you can turn that thing into a positive for them, whether that's communicating or whether that's just knowing that they're in a safe space and they feel good about themselves. Because everybody has to feel good about themselves, and everybody has to learn some way in an environment that they feel good about themselves. Whether or not that's completing something in Minecraft, doing something in Fortnite, one moment in their day, it has to be positive for them. And sometimes you don't understand that until you really step back and listen. And that's maybe the biggest thing, is just listening to people.
Amazing way to end. I just want to say and reaffirm the message that your dad left you with, to believe in our children, to believe in their potential, to remind them to believe in themselves, as we also need to learn to believe in ourselves as well. And when we mirror it, just like when we listen, when we acknowledge that we might not have the best way all the time, we give our children the permission to know that everybody's fallible. And fallibility or mistakes are not the end of the world. It's a gift for us to learn and to grow. So with that said, any parting points on belief?
Yes, I think if you just dig down and you believe and you aim for the stars and you just seem to believe in yourself, sometimes it'll take a long while, but there'll be one moment you'll wake up and you'll go, wow, I did it. And for me, getting my university degree, for example, might not, I actually don't even think it's, for me, get my HND, for example, it might not have been everybody's Everest moment. For me, there was one moment where I went, I've completed something. So sometimes you just have to believe in the small things, and sometimes the small things just grow into massive things. And it's a good thing to do. Believe in yourself sometimes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Paul.
Pleasure.
We're going to have you back, because we haven't even covered the dyslexia or their learning capabilities or the amazing other work that you do with youth and footballers too. So we're definitely bringing you back. So before we close, let me just invite everyone to continue to watch the upcoming recording of this Zoom Live and all of our other Zoom Lives, as well as our new release of episode, the episode on racism that we just covered last month for the Genuine Men's Chat show. We also have our podcast, and for both the Zoom Live and our Genuine Men's Chat show. Share, like, and follow us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. Join the Genuine Men's Chat Facebook group to join other men in the discussion of this amazing topic. Remember, our motto in 2020 is many men, many conversations. Have you taken your seat at the table yet? See you next week.